Hello everyone. Are you struggling to get a mentor and feeling overwhelmed without guidance on your projects? Do you feel stuck and unsure how to succeed on your own? No worries. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can still succeed through self-learning using the right strategies without overwhelming yourself while working on projects like industry or open source or college. I'll share a complete guide along with real world scenarios from my personal experience to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. I am Pavni Priya Sajja, a UX designer, mentor, and speaker. Through my channel, I support people who are early in their design careers by sharing my knowledge and insights through videos. Let me share my own experience working on the projects without a mentor or a proper design team. In my early design career, I joined projects where I had responsibilities but no dedicated mentor to guide me. Later, I joined another team where I was only UX designer. The rest of the team included a project manager, developers, data scientist, and a marketing team. I often felt overwhelmed because I don't have anyone to guide me from UX perspective. Without mentorship and structured collaboration, I struggled and eventually I left the project. After that, I joined another project where there was one more designer besides me. We both had similar experience levels. Most of our time was spent creating marketing templates and UI mockups because the team believed UX designers were mainly responsible for producing visuals or branding. There was no proper UX direction. The project manager focused only on delivery timelines, and developers would sometimes create flows without user testing. There were no structured design process or collaboration. My co-designers focused mainly on UI, and we lack ownership of a broader UX strategy. Once again, I felt overwhelmed and unstopped, and I quit. And eventually, I joined a startup where I finally had a team and a mentor. However, even there, things were not perfect. The team had limited experience in structured design processes. I was constantly switching between the projects, not finalizing MVPs. MVP means minimum viable products, and spending too much time creating high fidelity mockups and endless flows. Research was not properly structured and the design process was missing clarity. I realized that even when you have a mentor, success still depends on how structured the system is. Looking back, I see that I joined many of these opportunities with very high expectations. I was always waiting for someone to validate me, to say, "You are doing great. Now move to the next step." But that doesn't happen everywhere because of those expectations. I quit several projects that were actually great opportunities. Today, many of these teams have established strong design system and mature products. And I have joined them at their early stage when they were still building. The path to becoming a successful UX designer rarely follows a straight line. While many aspiring designers imagine a clear journey with experienced mentors guiding them at every step, the reality is often quite different. Many designers find themselves navigating complex professional environments without dedicated mentorship, learning to advocate for their discipline in organizations that don't fully understand it, and building credibility from scratch in teams that have never worked with designers before. These are not hypothetical scenarios or academic exercises. They are actually challenges that designers face every day across startups, mid-sized companies, and tech organizations, and open source projects as well. Understanding these situations and developing strategies to navigate them will prepare you for success regardless of whether you have a mentor to guide you. The absence of mentorship, while challenging, can also become a source of strength. Designers who learn to success without constant guidance develop resilience, self-direction, and problem-solving skills that serve them throughout their career. After reflecting deeply and consulting experienced designers, I realized something important. Don't leave a project just because it feels unstructured or overwhelming, and don't think you are alone. The majority of UX designers go through similar struggles. That's when I developed my own strategy based on experience, mentorship conversations, and feedback from senior designers. Once I shifted my mindset and approach, I started seeing real progress in my projects. Now, I'm going to walk you through step by step strategies on how to stay self motivated, create structure for yourself, and success in projects even without a mentor. Step 1, understand the reality. Why these situations are common if you have ever felt alone in design struggles. Wondering if your challenges are unique or if you are somehow failing, let this be your resources. These situations happen constantly across the industry. You are not imagining the difficulties you face. Design maturity varies widely across organizations. Most companies are still figuring out how to integrate design into their processes. Industry research consistently shows that majority of organizations operate at low design maturity levels, meaning designers work in isolation, lack influence, and struggle for recognition. This is not a reflection of individual designers' capabilities, but rather a systematic challenge in how organizations understand and value the designer. The only designer problem is widespread. Many startup and mid-sized companies hire their first designer without understanding what designers need to succeed. They expect one person to transform everything overnight without providing mentorship, research resources, or a seat in decision making. This creates a challenging environment where designers must simultaneously do their work and educate their organization about what that work entails. Developer heavy teams are the norm in tech products, infrastructure, developer tools, health tech, and B2B software. Engineering culture dominates. Design is often an afterthought, not because people are hostile to it, because they have a simply never worked with designers before and don't know what to expect or how to collaborate effectively. Step 2, real world scenarios and strategies. Scenario 1, working on open source projects without design guidance. The situation: you are contributing to an open source project as the only designer on the team. Other UX members, if they exist, have a similar experience levels to yours. The team is heavy weighted towards developers and project managers. There is no dedicated UX team, and you are waiting for feedback from the development team that rarely comes. Expected obstacles: developers don't know how to give design feedback because they have never been asked to do so before. Volunteer teams have a limited time and availability for design decisions. No established design processes or feedback canons exist. Your contributions may go unnoticed or unacknowledged. Communication happens asynchronously across the time zones. How to succeed: reframe your role. You are not just a designer waiting for direction, you are introducing design thinking to a team that hasn't had it before. This is harder but also more impactful for your career story. You are essential building the design practices from scratch, creating structures for feedback rather than waiting for it. Present your work with specific questions like, does this flow make sense for how users actually deploy models? Rather than asking, what do you think? Share work clearly, and rough scenes, polished mockups can intimidate developers into silence while sketches invite collaboration. Purpose: lightweight design reviews in existing meetings rather than asking for new ones. Create asynchronous feedback channels by posting designs in Slack with numbered options and asking people to vote or comment. Speak their language. Connect your design decision to outcomes developers care about. Reducing support tickets, decreasing time to first deployment, preventing user errors that causes incidents. Frame usability improvements as reducing cognitive load for users who are already overwhelmed. Find your allies. Even without a UX team, there is usually one developer or project manager who care about user experience. Build a relationship with them. They can champion your work and help translate between design and engineering concerns. Set your own success metrics. Since nobody is tracking design outcomes, define them yourself. Document baseline usability issues. Run your own lightweight user interviews and track improvements. This becomes powerful potential material. The next scenario, joining a health tech company as a only designer. The situation. You have been hired a health tech company with no existing UX team. All your teammates are developers and product managers who are deeply connected to the code base or a medium domain or a medical domain. You have no UX mentor to guide you through the specialized requirements of healthcare software. So, the expected obstacles, credibility gap. Developers and clinicians may not initially trust design input because they have shipped products without designers before. Slow decision making due to compliance. Healthcare is regulatory constraints, including HIPAA FDA requirements if it's a medical device, and accessibility requirement under ADA. Domain knowledge barriers, medical workflows, terminology, and mental models are complex and unfamiliar. No existing design system or research practice to build upon. Stakeholders who are also users, clinicians on the team may ensure their preferences, respect all users, how to succeed, become a domain learner first. Spend your first weeks asking questions, shadowing clinical workflows if possible, reading industry publications, and learning the regulatory landscape. Don't propose design challenges until you understand why things are the way they are. Identify a physician, nurse, or clinical informatics who is willing to explain workflows and review your design for clinical accuracy. This person becomes invaluable for validating that your solutions actually fit real practice. Start with small, visible wins. Don't propose a full redesign. Find one painful workflow, improve it measurably, and document the impact. A single success story like reducing data entry errors or cutting task completion time open doors for longer initiatives. Frame everything in terms of patient safety and efficiency. In health tech, better user experience often translates to fewer medical errors or more time with patients. Connect your work to outcomes the team already cares about deeply. Learn compliance basics, understanding accessibility standards, and any relevant guidance shows the team you take their constraints seriously. It also helps you design solutions that won't get rejected in legal review. Learning without adequate college instruction. The situation is your college program focuses on theory throughout the presentation but don't prepare you for the messy reality of actual project work. You don't have a UX mentor to guide you on the projects. And the gap between academic knowledge and professional practices feels insurmountable. Why this happens, academic programs often focus on framework, history, and idealized processes. They rarely teach you how to handle ambiguity, work with difficult stakeholders, make decisions with incomplete information, or iterate under time pressure. Real projects require judgment that only comes from doing. How to succeed, work on real projects outside the class. Theory only makes sense once you have struggled with actual constraints. Volunteer for nonprofits needing UX help through platforms like a Cashfire or UX Rescue. Contribute to open source projects. Redesign existing products as case studies with real research, or take one small freelance project. Study case studies deeply, not superficially. Don't just read case studies, reverse engineer them. Ask yourself what research method they closed and why, what constraints shape their decisions, what they would do differently, and how they handle pushback. Good sources include Medium UX publications, Figma case study collections, and portfolio sites of designers at the companies you admire. Create your own feedback loops. Since you don't have a mentor reviewing your work, build alternative feedback systems. Post work in progress on Adapt list for mentor sessions. Or if you know anyone from LinkedIn, you can connect with them and ask for help. Share designs in communities like Figma community or designer hangouts. Slack and ask specific questions rather than general opinions. Record yourself explaining your design decisions to catch gaps in your own reasoning. Learn by teaching. Creating content about design concepts is a powerful learning tool. When you explain concepts to others, you discover what you don't fully understand. Create content about your own projects, struggling and solutions. Build a self-directed curriculum. Identify specific skills you are missing and systematically address them. For research skills, try IDEO's free courses or Nelson Norman group articles. For interaction design, study refactoring UI or loss of UX for communication. Practice presenting your work to non-designers for critique. Learn frameworks. Scenario 4. Being the first designer at startup. The situation: you have been hired at the startup that has never had a UX designer before. You are the only one is going to work on all the design projects. There is no existing design foundation, unclear expectations about your role, and you are expected to deliver results immediately. So the expected obstacles would be no existing design foundation, no design system, no research repository, no established processes, inconsistent UI patterns, and possibly design creates by developers or founders, unclear role expectations, and the team hired a UX designer but may not understand what that means. Speed versus quality tension. Startup move fast, creating pressure to ship quickly that conflicts with through the research and iteration. No budget for tools or research. You might not get paid tool subscription or participant recruitment budgets initially. Everyone has design opinions without establishing design credibility. Everyone will feel comfortable overriding your decisions. Isolation. No design peers means no one to critique your work, validate your thinking, or support you. Scope creep. Small teams often expect everyone to wear multiple hats, pulling you into a marketing, design, sales deck, or even front end code. How to succeed? Understand the business first. Before touching any designs, spend time understanding the startup's goals, runway, target users, and what success tools like for the founders. Your design priorities should align with business survival, not ideal UX practice. Audit what exists without judgment. Document the current state of a product, including inconsistencies, usability issues, and design debate. But don't criticize what come before. The team builds something without a designer. Frame your audit as opportunities, not failures. Pick one high impact problem to solve first. Don't try to fix everything. Identify where users are struggling most or where the business is losing money due to poor experience. Solve that visibility and measurably. This single win builds your credibility for future initiatives. To stand out, succeed as a designer, focus on building a personal learning ecosystem. Document and share your design process publicly to attract feedback and build your reputation, and always connect your work to business outcomes. Designers who can tie decisions to metrics like conversion rates or error reduction becomes invaluable. The challenges designers face: isolation, lack of recognition, and working without mentorship are real, common, and surmountable. What separates those who thrive isn't a perfect environment, but ability to build their own feedback systems, earn credibility through small wins, and persist through uncertainty. Navigating these difficulties can actually become a strength in shaping more self-directed and resilient designers. The obstacles are real, but with intention and persistence, The path forward is you create. I hope you have gained insights on how to navigate projects independently. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you have had experience working as a self-taught designer, please share it in the comment. I'm happy to hear your story. Let's encourage junior designers who are struggling to work on projects. See you in the next video.